Hello everyone and welcome to mathMinutes. In today's video, we'll be taking an in-depth look at quadratic equations and the quadratic formula. Whether you're a student struggling with quadratic equations or someone who wants to understand the concept better, this video is for you. First things first, let's talk about what a quadratic equation is. A quadratic equation is a second-degree polynomial equation, meaning that the highest power of the variable, usually x, is 2. In other words, the equation has the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, where a, b and c are constants. For example, x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0 is a quadratic equation. There are several methods for solving quadratic equations, but in this video we'll focus on the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is a general formula that can be used to solve any quadratic equation. The quadratic formula is as follows: x equals minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c divided by 2 times a. Where x is the variable we're solving for, a, b and c are constants and plus or minus represents two possible solutions. Let's go through an example to see how we can use the quadratic formula to solve a quadratic equation. Suppose we have the equation 2x squared plus 5x plus 1 equals 4. Before we use the quadratic formula, we must always remember to rearrange the equation so that it's in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. This gives us 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 equals 0. Now, to use the quadratic formula, we first need to identify the values of a, b and c. In this case, a equals 2, b equals 5 and c equals minus 3. We can substitute these values into the quadratic formula. X equals minus 5 plus or minus square root of 5 squared minus 4 times 2 times minus 3 divided by 2 times 2. Simplifying the expression gives us x equals minus 5 plus or minus square root of 49 divided by 4. So x equals minus 5 plus or minus 7 divided by 4. We solve for x to find x equals minus 5 plus 7 divided by 4, which equals half, and x equals minus 5 minus 7 divided by 4, which equals minus 3. So the solutions to the equation 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 equals 0 are x equals half and x equals minus 3. Let's take a closer look at each part of the quadratic formula. Part 1, minus b. The first part of the quadratic formula is minus b, which represents the opposite of the coefficient of x in the original quadratic equation. For example, in the equation x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0, the coefficient of x is minus 6, so minus b equals minus minus 6, which equals 6. Part 2, plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. The second part of the quadratic formula is plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, which represents the square root of the discriminant of the quadratic equation. The discriminant is the part of the quadratic formula that is inside the square root sign, b squared minus 4ac. If the discriminant is positive, the quadratic equation has two real solutions. If it's 0, the equation has one real solution, and if it's negative, the equation has two complex solutions. Part 3, 2a. The third part of the quadratic formula is 2a, which represents the coefficient of x squared in the original quadratic equation. For example, in the equation x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0, the coefficient of x squared is 1, so 2a equals 2. Let's go through another example and solve the equation x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0. In this equation, a equals 1, b equals minus 6, and c equals 9. We substitute these values into the quadratic formula. X equals minus minus 6 plus or minus square root of minus 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 9 divided by 2 times 1. Simplifying the expression gives us x equals 6 plus or minus square root of 0 divided by 2. So x equals 6 divided by 2, which equals 3. We note that the discriminant is 0. So we only have one real solution to the equation, x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0, which is x equals 3. And there you have it, folks. That's the quadratic formula and how to use it to solve quadratic equations. I hope you found this video helpful and that you now have a better understanding of quadratic equations. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.